is Rob Warlow from Business Loan Services, and welcome to my Friday Business Finance Bulletin, a weekly roundup of news, tips, ideas and strategies on raising finance and dealing with banks. So what have I got for you this week? Well, we're going to be looking at late payment and the government's latest efforts to try and get rid of the culture of late payment. Going to be looking at a new innovative payment processing tool, which has caught my eye this week. Also crowdfunding. What are the crowdfunding sectors doing in order to encourage usage of their facilities? And in my business finance tip of the week, a salutary lesson about preparation when it comes to raising finance. So let's start off with late payment. Now, as we know, for many small businesses, this is the bane of your life. And the government, as I mentioned in previous bulletins, is very fixated on trying to get rid of the culture of late payment. So much so that a couple of bulletins ago I've mentioned that the government passed the Small Business Enterprise Act, one sector of which is all about late payments, and with the proposal about setting up a conciliation service. The idea being that a small business commissioner will be appointed, and that's now in process, designed to try and bring warring parties together to try and come up with an agreement where an invoice is in dispute, and also about naming and shaming habitual late payers. Well, as I said, the act has been passed and the government has now come out to say that it's now putting a consultation process together to hear your views on what you would like to see the commissioner doing as regards what it needs to do to get rid of late payment. So it's a good sign that the government is moving forward on this. So the consultation is out. Now, if you have particular views on late payment and some bad experience and some ideas about what the government can do to get rid of this epidemic of late payment, all you have to do, go along to the main government website, which is www.gov.uk, and search there for Late Payment and Small Business Enterprise Act, and you'll find there a copy of the consultation paper which you can download, and there it'll explain how you can pass on your views. So it's a really good step forward there to try and get rid of this issue of late payment. Now, if you're a very, very small business, late payment kind of comes in another guise. An interesting survey caught my eye this week by a mobile payment processor called PayM. Now, what PayM is really designed for small traders, window cleaners, decorators. You know, they have a big problem. PayM did a survey and they found out that amongst these crowd of tradesmen, on average, they are owed and have outstanding about £2,000 at any one time. Now, why have they got payment problems? Well, obviously most of these transactions are done in cash. And the problem is, when the job is done, the tradesman says, okay, that will be £500, please. And they don't want to accept checks, and cash for lower value items is far easier. So what happens? Well, the individual says, I need to go to a cash machine, haven't got time now, come back next week. And so these bills build up. And so what PayM have come up with, a really neat idea, is to allow businesses and individuals to make payment by mobile phone. So all you have to do, both parties download an app from the PayM website, and so then you just essentially make payment through your mobile phone by exchanging mobile phone numbers, as opposed to passing over your account details in terms of sort code and account number. So it's a neat way. So obviously the main benefit for the tradesman is the money is in the bank account straight away without having to call back. A neat way of trying to avoid late payment problems and cash collection problems. So if you're in one of those situations and you are a small trader, or and you want to try and find out how you can get hold of this, just go along to the PayM website, which is www.paym, as in the letter, paym.co.uk. So let's move on to crowdfunding. An interesting initiative caught my eye this week from one of the leading crowdfunding platforms, ReBuildingSociety. They're running a little competition. And so if you're a business now looking to raise money, in order to encourage you to go and visit ReBuildingSociety, they're running a competition. The competition is go in and request a loan over the next couple of weeks or so, and your name will be thrown into a hat, and you may be lucky enough to be winning the prize, which is up to £25,000 interest-free loan. Yep, up to 25 grand free of interest. So that's quite an incentive, isn't it? Especially if you're looking to raise money via crowdfunding right now. So if you want to know more about that, just pop along to Rebuilding Society's website, which is rebuildingsociety.com. Moving on to Funding Circle, another one of the leading providers in the crowdfunding sector. Interesting news there. Funding Circle are looking to put their own investment fund together. So they're going to be launching shortly a fund where individuals can put money in. The fund size they're estimating to raise about £150 million. It's an income fund. So the idea being that the fund will then invest in loans listed on the Funding Circle platform. Estimated returns in between 5 and 6%. So they'll obviously be targeting the very good, top quality loans on the funding sector platform. So if you want to participate as an investor into crowdfunding, keep an eye out for that when there's more news out about that shortly. A great idea there from the Funding Circle team. Another new entrant onto the alternative finance market that caught my eye this week is a firm called Kappaphi. Now, Kappaphi just been launched in this amalgam of about 4 or 5 existing businesses that have been rebranded and come together, and they specialise in merchant cash advances. Now, there are many small businesses perhaps out there like you who take a lot of payments through credit cards and debit cards, and so you have quite a predictable stream of business coming through, especially if you've got a long track record. And what these merchant cash providers will do, they'll have a look at that income stream, and particularly in Kappaphi's case, you can borrow against that predictive income stream anything from £3,500 up to £500,000. So how does it work? Well, you get the loan, and then what Kappaphi does, for every transaction then that you take on your card, they take an agreed percentage of that in a form of a regular repayment. So it's just a great idea of being able to speed up access to finance and at the same time utilising the predictive cash flow that you get from cards. If you want to know more about that, go and visit their website, which is kappaphi.co.uk. And so on to my business finance tip of the week, and I have a salutary lesson to share with you. Now, earlier this week we had a call from somebody who'd purchased a property at auction. Now, as you know, when you buy something at auction, you've got typically up to 28 days in which to complete the deal. Now, unfortunately, in this particular case, the guy had lost 1 week due to various reasons and was only just really getting into now trying to raise the finance, but the clock was ticking. And we're only left really with about 2.5 weeks or so to try and raise money. Now, we're miracle workers, I like to think, but even for us that's a little bit tight, and it's possible we have found a solution for him. But the real lesson is, and the tip I want to share with you, Jen, is about preparation. I've mentioned before, you just never know when the deal of a lifetime is going to fall on your table, and you must be able to move very fast. Now, obviously, the preparation from a bridging and an auction perspective is to make sure that you've got a bridging company and or finance lined up well in advance if you can, so you can move very quickly. But if you're looking at general finance, it's the same thing. Be prepared. You just never know when something's going to land on your desk and you think, I have to have this, we have to grab this opportunity. So that preparation really comes in making sure that all your financial information is bang up to date, making sure that your credit record is clean and you'll know what's on there. And if there are errors on there, you're constantly getting it right so lenders don't get scared. It really is all about preparation. So just think about it. If I came to you today with an absolute cracker of a deal, could you move quickly? Could you get a ready business plan off the shelf? Could you get your accounts together? Could you get a financial forecast all drawn up, ready to go? If not, that's your homework, that's your preparation. So here we are at the end of this week's Business Finance Bulletin. As ever, I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, don't forget to share it amongst your friends, give us a like on social media. Also, don't forget podcast only versions as well. You go to our SoundCloud page or our iTunes, just search for Business Finance Bulletin. You'll also find some relatively new Business Finance Bulletin extras. Now, these are podcast only versions in which I look at the subject of raising finance in much more depth. And again, you'll find those on our SoundCloud and podcast page. So that's it for this week. Thanks so much for being with me. I look forward to being with you again very soon. Thanks very much. Have a great, successful and profitable week ahead. Bye-bye now.